Is it still choppy? I'm hoping it changes. Oh, good. So what happens is my kids are either watching Netflix on a Sunday or for a bit when I'm on my live, or they are doing, or the other one is doing online video games, and so that takes up a lot of the internet bandwidth. So I have very specifically asked them to not be watching TV, Netflix, or YouTube, or be playing anything online. So this way our connection is good, because I've noticed when I do allow them to watch something to keep them occupied, everything goes out of whack on my end over here. So it's related. All right, so hi Julie. Awesome, great, sounds better. Okay, great. So I will start because I can see that there's 14 people here. So good morning to all of you. It's afternoon for me, actually. So good afternoon to me. Good morning to some of you, and good afternoon to the rest of you. I am going to switch over to my desk so we can start there. Enough of my face and my hair that is badly in need of a haircut. Painting, here we go. Let's transition. And I'm going to turn the light on for my desk so you can see better. Yay! Awesome. Okay. And now, Kathy, you're too funny. I am not looking forward to that time. I am a people person. I don't like solitude. That's my husband. We are polar opposites in that area. I have an echo now. Okay. I'm going to try something.
Do I still have an echo? I still have an echo, guys? Hi, Anna. Hi, Yasmin. No echo. Okay, good. So I just turned off the camera that was showing my face because we're looking at my desk now. Okay, we'll get right into it because today I want to keep things light and fun and not super intense or long. So as per usual, I'm going to start off with what we did yesterday. Yesterday was April's class, and this is what we ended up doing. Why is my desk not moving? Is it because we are connected though? You are able to see? Okay, perfect, yes. Yes, so this is what we ended up doing. We were focusing on contrast, and we did very similar florals to the video from February. Remember the blue flowers that we did, the simple 5-petal florals from the beginner series? I just took that concept and sort of put this together. This was what I had posted. This is what we did for class yesterday. And this was the practice sheet. So for those of you who missed it, want to get the video replay, it is available on the online shop. Feel free to go get it there. I am going to put this aside and show you what we did for this past week. We did spray carnations, and the spray carnations, I hope you guys liked it. It was quite easy in my opinion, because it was just making sure we've got that nice little thick bottom and then some cute little organic shapes for our petals at the top. This one kind of looks like a bow, but I was looking at a picture reference for it, and I showed you guys the picture reference if you were watching my live this past week on Thursday. This was my picture reference from this book right here, Flower Color Guide. I love this book. I think it is fabulous if you're looking to just get a couple of different inspos to paint. I just got it from the library. It's not mine. I didn't purchase it. I just wanted to see what these books are like because I've never done this book thing before. So yeah, this is where I got it from, and I think it was this flower I painted, if I'm not mistaken. Looks like a bow here, but because it's loose, there's not a lot of shadow bits that I add or details like that, so mine looks like a bow. But today we are going to be doing the combination of the spray carnations and also some clematis, which is right here. So I hope you guys are ready for that. I'm going to walk through my supplies really quickly and then we will begin. I'm going to put my items that I don't need aside. And we'll start off with the clematis today, okay? So while you have, let me just make sure everything is good here on my end. Okay, so first things first, I am using my Paul Rubens sketchbook to paint again today. Just taking a sheet of that. And for my brushes, I will use the Princeton number 6, not 8, number 6. The Princeton number 2 from the miniature collection. And then I'll keep the 8 handy in case I needed to smoothen things out or just in case I need a second brush. Alright, I've got a palette handy over here, some leftover green. I'll definitely end up using that. And what else? Oh, paints. Obviously, we need paint to paint. My collection of 36 white nights. And because we're doing the clematis first, I'm going to start off with doing, we're making it purple and it's got this really light green center. So I would think, here, let me bring it in focus here so you guys can see and be a part of this process. So it's this really pretty purple, and I think the closest we can get to matching that would be, I don't care if we match it bang on, so that's okay. So I'm definitely going to get some of the violet, and I'll mix a little bit of white to go with it. And I think that should tone down the darkness of it, and I think that should be fine. I will add a little bit of Quin Lilac or Carmine in it because I want to get a more rosier sort of purple. And then for the centers, we're going to go with the yellowish green. I think the yellowish green is the best. And again, I think I'll mix it with some of the white to get a lighter green. And yeah, that's it. For the green leaves, I am definitely not doing yellowish green. I'll mix in some umber with it to get like a nice darker green because I just don't like yellowish green. That's me. Feel free to use the green you like though. So that's how we're starting today. There we go. I'm just going to put this to the side and we're going to start blending our colors. As I have mentioned, I'm going to use, where's my palette? Oh, it's right here. We keep this on screen here so you can see me blending as well. I'm going to start off with using the number 6 to blend some color on my palette. So here we go. Here's the violet. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention to you guys. Don't forget the Hello Clarice G challenge is starting May 1st. So if you're still interested in being a part of it, sign up. The link is below in the description, as are all the links to our supplies we're using here today as well. And this week, I'm so excited because this week I heard from Charmed Aroma, all you candle lovers and jewelry lovers. Charmed Aroma is on board and is going to be one of the giveaway sponsors for the challenge. And I'm so excited because they're giving away, a lucky winner is going to get the Vincent van Gogh Starry Night candle. And the jewelry that you'll find in it is one of the Starry Night elements from the painting as well. So I'm super, super excited to get that. I think lighting a candle while you're painting is a great way to also relax and de-stress, depending on the smells. If you like smells, if you don't like smells, up to you. Okay, so I added some white on here. That's what I did. That's why it looks dark here and light here, just FYI. Moving on to mix some of the green and carrying on with my convo about the Hello Clarice G challenge. So make sure you check out the link online and go and get yourself signed up. I have 10 videos for all of May and a whole bunch of really excited folks who have already signed up. If you have not joined the group, because I've noticed everyone has not joined the group, please make sure you reach out to me if you didn't get that message with the group info and stuff, and join the group. It's a private group. So here's my yellowish green, and I am mixing some umber in here. So this will be the green we use for the leaves. All right, and then I'm going to mix some of the green for the centers. I'll definitely need more of this, but let's just keep it at this for now. There we go, that's good enough. I'm going to get some of that green on this side and washing most of it off because I do not want to contaminate my white. I'm going to get some white. Mix it on here. I think this is good enough. I will be using my miniature brush to get the center for the clematis. Maybe a little bit more green in here. Great, I think that's good. I might, on a whim, if I feel like it, I might get some of the olive green, just a tad bit, and add to the center as well. Let's just see how that goes. Right, so we're starting off with the number 6 for this. I'm going to move this over. Move this over. Now this purple all looks very dark, so here we go. Let me get some white. Just mix that on to this side here. And then swipe off some purple, mix it on here. That's much better. Okay, and what I will also do, just to make sure that you're able to see my screen better, is zoom in . Okay, there we go, much better. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is decide where I want my florals to be. So we're starting off with the lighter purple. I am using my number 6, and I'm going to do my first flower probably a little bit more smack dab in the middle, maybe a little bit more to the right. And then the next one will be a little bit below here. And then we'll have our carnations coming out from the center. But the main flower we do at the top will be the tallest element in this. Okay, so we're starting off with the first petal at the top. And if you've done my loose florals, it's that simple. Using the tip of your brush, pressing down, trailing downward. I'm dipping the tip of my brush in water, and we're going to do the next half of this to get a lighter version of this purple. I'm immediately going to get my little brush, the miniature brush. I'm going to get some green at the edges here and just pull it all the way down. I'm also going to get a little bit of the dark purple on the tip of this brush and add that on the edge of this side. And then just one more here, pushing all the color down to the bottom. If you get some white space in there, that is fabulous. Leave it. Okay, so there's one petal. We're going to mimic that same idea for petals all the way around, but we're going to try and give it some flair and movement. So this next petal is going to be coming out from this side. I'm pressing down, trailing inward, leaving some space between the two petals. Getting a little bit more water on the tip of my brush, swiping some color on the tip of my brush, and then I'm doing the next half of this petal right here. Swapping back to my miniature brush, I'm getting some green on the tip of it, and I'm adding that to the center, bringing it down a little bit, letting it seep in. I'm going to get some of that darker purple, just add that as a swoosh in there, and then just a little bit over here on this side too. See those nice little blooms of purple that you see? That is nice. I'm going to add one more over here just to kind of intensify that purple, because watercolor always dries off lighter, so you want it to be nice and dark. I'm going to do one more over here. This one's kind of trailing off this way, getting more color on my brush. I'm going to do the bottom edge of this a little bit loosey. Not quite a perfect petal. Notice it. Getting some of that green and adding that to the tip. Giving the tip a little bit of a curve here. Make it nice and fun. And then I'm taking darker purple and I'm going to edge it along here. So this is more defined in comparison to the other petal that we have going on. I'm just getting some more on here. I'm dabbing the most at the center over here. All right, so now we've got 3 more petals left. So we've got to do one here down facing. So I'm going to start that from here. Give it a nice swirl. Get a little bit more purple on my brush. Try that again. Getting some water on the tip of my brush. This time I am closing this off this way. And then again with the green at the bottom. Allowing it to kind of swirl in with that purple. Okay, perfect. And then now we've got 1 petal on this side. And this one I'm going to start using with the tip of my brush. Then pressing down and going inward, leaving a little bit of white space between that first petal and this one here. And then just getting a little bit more of that shape in. And get some green in there, as per usual. And then I'm getting some of that darker purple. Just going to edge it over there. And then just a little bit at the bottom. That's good enough. I'm going to get some more purple to do our final petal here. This one too will be a little bit like how this one's facing upward. Pressing down, kind of going inward, leaving that white space. Dipping the tip of my brush in water again. I'm going to swirl this over and bring it outward. There we go. I'm just leaving it like that. It should have joined together, but it's okay. I'm going to leave it this way. Now getting more of that dark purple, I want to enhance this area here with the dark purple. So I'm ever so lightly adding that in. I want to get some more of that at the top here too, so I'm just dabbing it. And where else? Oh yes, there's one more area over here. There's too much water right now, so it's kind of just blending as a mishmash, but that's okay. I'm gonna allow it to do its watercolor thing. Let's get some green at the tip of this one here, just loosely. Yeah, I think that's good enough. And then we'll leave the centers for the very end. Let's move on to the next one. So in comparison to this floral that we've done, the carnations need to be a lot smaller, so just keep that in mind because these are big enough. So the next one, we're doing the same, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they have 6 petals, so we're doing the same sort of thing. I'll do it diagonally downward over here. And starting off, there's 1 petal. Going in with my green. Getting some more of that purple. Do another one this way. Really like pressing down my brush to get those nice organic shapes. Trying to make sure I push all that color down to the center of the flower, leaving some white space as well in between the petals. So we get that nice loose effect. I'm going to get another petal really close to this one, not giving it too much white space. Let's get another one happening, coming from down here. And then pushing all the color down to the center. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 5 and 6, and then we're done. So here's 5. I'm trying a different technique compared to the first one, leaving the tips of green open really till I do a little bit more. And then we've got our 6th one. There we go. And so now you can see how this is dried off. While it's got some nice shading in there, it could still use with some more highlights and lowlights. So I'm going to get a little bit more of that darker violet, and we're going to first highlight some of these areas here because it's nice and damp. So if we get that nice blend happening, then that is perfect. So I'm going to get some in this direction here so you can see it's that one petal. I'll get some on this side here, pushing it downward to the center, a little bit at the top. Not quite touching that one because I don't want it to blend in too much. Let's get some here. Some at the edge on this one. And then some more here. So now is the perfect time to give your florals like that nice gradient feel, natural gradient feel of dark to lights, where it is semi-dry, but still damp enough that if you go in with some color, it kind of gives you that nice watercolor bloom. And because this is like a loose style of water, you can see this one's dried up, by the way. But I'm still going to go ahead and add this in, and then we're going to use that number 8 to go in and soften it. So here's number 8, going in and just softening that edge. So fairly simple fix to that. And then funny for this one as well, this one's also super dry, but we'll go in with that number 8 and soften it. Easy peasy, right? Now, if you're one of those people who likes detail, adding more detail to florals like this, because this flower has a lot of like little lines in there and whatnot, using a miniature brush and just going in with another layer of the violet, once it's dried, to get those thin lines in will be very nice. So think about doing that maybe afterwards. So we've done this. I'm going to leave the centers for absolute last. Let's get in some of the green for our leaves so we have an idea of where things are going to be placed. So using the number 6, I'm getting some of the green we have mixed. And I'll get a little bit more umber in here. And yeah. So this one can be a straight. I don't like doing straight because I feel it's so rigid. So I'm going to do more of a twirl, not a twirl, a curve. Bring that down. Again, I'm not feeling this bright green, so I'm getting more umber to it. I'm going to get some of that at the very top here so it can look darker where it's touching the flower. And I'm just going to add some as it goes downward here. And yeah, it can go a little bit more. Down. Perfect. And then for this one's going to be kind of coming onto this branch. Adding some darker colors where it touches the branch, meets the branch, and then also where it's coming from under the flower. And now we can do a couple of leafy elements happening in and around. I would say let's do some over on this side because I don't think there's going to be enough space to have I think we could do some carnations popping out about here. So if we got some leaves up there, I think it should be fine. So their leaves seem to be very like tendrily like because it is a creeper. So going off this way, I'm going to get the tip of my brush in water and just get some very curvy, flowy leaves happening. Getting some more water on my brush. I'm going to get another one kind of just curving into this area here, pushing all the color down to where it meets the tendril or the vein, or sorry, the stem, not the vein. Adding a darker color of that green to the very bottom of the leaf, maybe a little bit at the top as well. And then I'll do one more kind of just loose this way, like a dry brush stroke. You can see some white in there. Okay, that's that. Let's do a little bit more of the greens happening. So if we have some carnations happening here, then some greens can happen over here. Let's have the greens happening here at the bottom. Okay, so here's another one. Let's do a tendril sort of element curving out this way. Placement is everything when it comes to really planning out your composition. You want to have some elements that are high, so there's a hierarchy in your placement, and everything doesn't look heavy on one side and just kind of lacking on the other. So this is why I talk through my placements so you get an idea of why I'm placing things a certain way. Not to say that I know it all. You might have a better idea, but talking it out helps when you don't have a plan. And I normally don't, because this is for fun. I like doing these things for fun and relaxation, and I hope you guys like that too. Alright, getting a little bit more of my green mix. That's why I am not saying anything. Adding some darker greens just here at the bottom. And I'll do a green kind of vague leaf kind of just in the background here, making it look fuller and more kind of enhanced. And I'll do a lighter version of a leaf just kind of peeking out from the top here as well. And before we do anything else, let's move on to the carnations. So if you've watched the carnation video, we're going to start off with doing the stems first, and then we'll do the flowers next. Just because we've got our main flowers here. I think in the video I started doing the flowers first and then did the stems. So I'm flipping it for you, flipping the script on you guys if you've watched it. So the carnations looked like so. Let me show you guys really quickly. This book is so thick that I have to really scroll through. There we go. So we'll just place our stems first and decide where we need it to go, and then we'll just have some flowers at the top. So I think that would be easier. So we'll do our greens first and then do the rest later. So keep this open on the side. Okay, so for the green, I am going to add a little bit of my nice dark green to this combo that we have here. I just would like this green to stand out more than the clematis that we have happening. And continuing on with my number 6, I am going to go ahead and place the stems. Yeah, so let's have one peeking out this way. And I'm going to get a little bit of that umber mixed in with this green because I would like it to be darker and just stand out more than the clematis. Some more. So, okay, so we've got this stem here. I'm going to brush this thick sort of shape on here because that's the bottom of the carnation. Here's the two little prong-like elements below it, and then it's got these thinner lines at the bottom. Loosely adding that in there. Getting more of the green. Let's add another one coming out this way. Same idea. Can leave a little bit of white space between this big chunk of green and the stem. So then we can go in with our red at the top, or whatever color you choose to make your carnations. Do you get these in other colors? I don't even know. I'm not even sure. Or is it only red? The spray carnations, not regular carnations. I know regular carnations, you get them in other colors. So I'm only naturally assuming that why wouldn't you be able to get these in other colors as well? So here's another stem. If you do get them in other colors, I think I'd like to make mine pink, like a nice fuchsia, carmine pink. Can deal with the stem bit later on. But here's one, and let's have it just peeking out above. And let's do this one to be a bud. So again, like that nice thick green bit at the top. Got that nice little chunky green area at the top there. Fabulous. Getting some more darker, what is that, umber, and the green. So you can get a nice dark green for this. I'm doing the little tendril bits that these guys normally come with. We'll settle with the flowers, sorry, the other leaves a little bit later. Let me just get the placement down first, and then we'll move on to that next part. So here's another one. They seem to be pretty straight and, yeah, rigid-like. There's no real curve or anything outside of the tendril elements that they have. Let's just make this one here. Fabulous. Okay, I like it. I'm going to dip the tip of my brush in water, and we're going to try our hand at doing a nice little curvy leaf. And so the leaf is, let me just show you guys the image reference that I have so you know what you're doing. Something like that or like that. So that's what we're going to try. And here goes. Wish me luck. So I'm using the tip of my brush to get that thin, fine point. Okay, fail already. I was going to do it in one swoop and it didn't quite work out. There we go. Okay, this is good enough. And we can do another one happening over here. The bottom part of it touching the stem is always thicker. And so that's why this part's so much thinner in comparison to this. Okay, looking good. So we've got 2 here, 2 here. Let's do one more, make it 5, and then call it an odd settlement of carnations. Okay, so 2 here, 2 here. I think one kind of protruding in between should do the job, and that should be very good. Okay, so let's do this one. Because we've got these petals right here, so it's kind of hard for me to figure out if I want to. Yeah, we can make this like a smaller guy comparison to. So maybe just like a bud. And then this way it's just the top that'll have some color and then the rest won't. And that should be fine. Fabulous. Okay. There are some tiny elements like tinier looking buds that just protrude. So if you want to add those, you can. I'm just adding one here. And then there's lots of other little curvy elements as well. So I don't know if I want to add a little bit like of that kind of just flowing here at the bottom, giving it more green happening so it looks fuller and nicer. Yeah, I like it. So I'm going to definitely add some of that over here. And yeah, let's just leave this for now. We can always come back and fluff it up later. That's what I like to call it. Let's mix some color for our actual carnation. And in this past week's video tutorial on YouTube, I had used the angled brush. I'm just going to use the regular number 2 this time for the carnations. And I mentioned I would use, I like the purple with the carmine or carmine, so I'm going to mix some of that on here. You can see me mix that here. Oh, we've got a couple of people saying hi, hello. Hi, Renee. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoy these flowers, and I hope you're learning. Hi, Wendy from Canada. Where in Canada? I'm in Ontario. Thank you. Hi, L. Payne from Scotland. Wow, got some friends from all over. Okay, so this is enough carmine, and we are going to do our little carnations. So again, these leaves are, petals and florals for the spray carnations are very organic in shape. So it's almost like that rounded shape that you see on a pansy is the main shape of it. And then just, I think, four of them. Yeah. So I'm just gonna spread around and just come across this way, leaving that nice dry effect that I have happening on the inside. And I want darker tones happening within the petals, so I'm just dabbing some additional color in certain areas, getting some more of that color. I'm going to do one more kind of happening this way, and then another one this way. Leave white space. The key is leaving white space, because then you're kind of really leaving things to the viewer's imagination. Or interpretation. Hi, Joanna from the UK. Welcome. Typically, my lives on YouTube are like an hour. Right, here's another one we're doing. Now the leaf is right there, so we're going to have to skirt around that. A little bit of skirting involved. So we get some color directly from here. Get this nice and dark. Leaving that white space in there. Kind of hitting some of the top over here a little bit. I'm gonna leave it like that. What I also like to do, because this is like loose, just add your little dotted elements to kind of make it seem loosey. Or like if you do a little bit of a spray at the end, that could work as well. Should do that with the green as well when we're doing our feathering at the very end. And I think that should be good. Okay, so for these ones, I said this one right here is just a bud, so we're just gonna do that little bud triangular sort of element at the top. Just like that, leave it. And then we'll do another one over here. And get some more of that color directly from my color cake and add some tones there. Darkening the areas where it is touching the green. And get some color to do our final one here. Really organic shapes to make this guy. and leaving that white space, because that really, really helps in deciphering or leaving things open to the viewer's imagination. Just darkening certain areas here still, because as it's drying off, I'm noticing like it's a little bit too light, so I want it to be darker. All right, that's good enough. Okay, so now we can move on to just perfecting the centers of our clematis, and then I think we are good. So the center of the clematis it's got that green happening. So we need to get a little bit of the purple first. So I'm going to be using the miniature number 2. And we're going to get some of the purple to get these little tiny looking petal-like elements, and then we'll do the green at the very end. So I've got some purple mixed already, but I need to get a little bit more, so I'm going to do that. And mixing with some white. That's great, okay. And here we go. So I'll start off with using the tip, just kind of getting these little like snaky type details over here. And kind of in all different directions, not really just in one particular direction really. Sporadic, erratic, however you want to describe that, just all over. Get some at the top a little bit to kind of make it look really full. I'm getting some of that darker toned purple as well to mix it in with this medium, excuse me, medium purple. All right, so let's do that same thing for this flower here at the bottom. Just like snaky little strokes, or curvy little strokes, whatever you want to call it. Don't overdo the strokes, because you want to make sure there is a semblance of white space in between. And now we can go in with our green. And for the green, I'm going to start off with doing the light version of green first. So that's the green that I mixed with the white. And then to get some nice darker tones to indicate shadow, we'll get some of the darker green that I've mixed, that we did for the leaves. So for this one here, I'm just going to, okay, so just make sure that this bit that you just painted on is not wet or damp, so that when you go in with the green, there's no seepage. And here we go. So we're just going to kind of lightly add these little straight lines. Yeah, like they're literally non-curvy lines facing all towards the center. You're just dabbing away. I'm going to get some over here as well. This one is a little bit facing upward, so I can have them kind of coming from all around the circle into the center, kind of like this. And then finally we're going to get some of that dark green. And then I'm just adding some to the top of this first one, and then just a little bit like dotted at the bottom. Again, leave as much white space as you can in the center. Same thing over here. I'm going to do, that was facing upward, so this is facing like aerial view, so it's all starting from the outskirts of the flower and going towards the inside. And now what I've noticed is we've got to have some darker shadow effects for the purple that we just did. So I'm getting a little bit of that purple. And what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of purple just at the bottom where these little guys meet the green center. So I want the green and that area to pop just a tad bit. And then same thing over here, you just want to kind of randomly add some of that purple just around it so you have an idea of where these guys meet. And that's it. So remember I was talking about adding an additional element to your petals if you want to, just getting some leftover color using your number 2 and just adding some details in your petals, especially for the clematis. I'm just going to do a couple over here at the top to show you what I was meaning. Again, because this is supposed to be loose with not a lot of detail, I'm not adding crazy amounts of detail to this. So I'm getting my petals, I'm getting my color in a lighter purple, and I'm just going to add little veiny type lines along the petal. Now their detail is a lot more crazier than what I'm doing, as I mentioned, but I'm just adding a little bit of detail so that there's some texture to my petals. Especially the ones like over here where it is sort of meeting this next petal beside it. I want there to be a little more definition, so I am adding these elements to it. So I didn't go all the way around for that one, just here and there. This one, I'm just going to give it a curve and add some detail just on the curve here. So it looks like it's overflapping. There's another one happening on this side. I'm just making it darker.
And then just a tad bit here on this one. I'm not going to do it for the second one. I'm just doing it for this first one here. The second flower, I mean. Very, very light. I don't even know if you can actually see this on camera, but it's super light. And what I'll do is I'll do a zoom close-up video of this and post it on my Instagram stories, so you can check it out to see what that looks like or how it sort of dried off. And I'll do both so you can see how it looks without the detail and how it looks with the detail. And actually the detail does add considerable more recognition to the flower itself. As opposed to without the detail, it's a 6-petal flower. I feel like it could be so many different flowers at this point. But yeah, so that's that for this. So this is the main composition. Let's do the feathering as I mentioned before. So I'm going to get the leftover green, and then this is it. We're done. So leftover green, I'm using my number 8 this time. And what I want to do is water this green down. Oops, got some purple on there. You can add some purple in there too, actually. That'll also give you a nice green. And I want to add little dotted elements and then little like leaves that look light in the green tone, and which would represent background leaves happening. And you can also give your leaves some detail like we did with the flowers themselves. Not all of them, just some of the leaves. So for instance, I'm just going in and adding some strokes in some of the dark leaves that we've added. So these will be the darkest elements we have. And then what I'm going to do next after I do these is going to be a lot lighter. Or it will transition to be a lot lighter in comparison to these guys. Okay, so getting some water on the tip of my brush to really get this light and loose. We get some nice little loosey leafy elements in the background. Lots of white space. Lots of like very, what's it called? Loose looking strokes, and then also adding some little dotted, like if you want to add a spray after, you could. I'm just going to do these. I'm just dabbing to make sure it doesn't dry off to be super dark.
in these areas here where the petals are in between the petals, if there's any white space, I'm just kind of adding some random dabs of green just so that the petals pop out some more. Doesn't have to be on all the centers. Oh, sorry, yeah, well, in between the petals, just a couple here and there to kind of really give it that idea. Adding some dabbing at the top, and I think we are done. For those of you who want to do your little splatter, you can do your splatter now. I'm going to leave this as is, and that's it. This was today's. Let me look at the comments if anyone has any questions or anything. Thanks, Sarada. Patty, oh my gosh, you have to try this again if you're not happy with your centers. And the sun is out with a slight ocean breeze. I am so envious right now. Oh, enjoy, my darling. Please send me pictures as well if you go by the ocean and are painting there. That would be really nice. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me. Remember, sign up for the challenge if you haven't. The link is below. And if and when you do this painting, please send tag me on Instagram, or just email it to me or DM me, whatever is your preference. I would love to see how this turns out for you guys. So thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful Sunday. Bye, guys.